Requiescat in Pace to the first Assassin's Creed game. We're ditching Altair for a brand new and pretty great character in my opinion. Get ready. This is Assassin's Creed 2. Don't go away. So if you watched my review of the original Assassin's Creed, you'd be aware that I am doing a journey of playing through all the Assassin's Creed. Yes, I am crazy. And to be honest, I actually really liked Assassin's Creed 1. It was a bit janked and looked a little bit not that great, but I had a great time with it. But Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2 one-ups the original on almost every measurable account I could think of. And at the end of the day, this Assassin's Creed 2 is now one of my favorite games of all time. And that's not a joke. Here's why. So the story I'm going to talk about a little bit here because it's actually pretty great. I won't try and draw it out here. So here we go. You start the story directly after Assassin's Creed 1. Thank God, because that was a huge fat cliffhanger. You'll quickly get introduced to the main character, Ezio, and Ezio's family members.
Federico! What are you doing here?
I wanted to see if baby brother had finally learned how to fight.
And it's a really great intro. Like, you get to know a lot of people quickly. It's set in Italy, late 1400s. I'm not even kidding you. The first 20-30 minutes of this game, where you get to the point where it says, oh, presented by Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed 2, like that whole intro thing, I clapped. And I'm not kidding. After this intro ran, I just sat back and was like, this is going to be freaking awesome.
It is a good life we lead, brother.
At best, may it never change.
And may it never change us. Let's go.
Wait.
What?
The whole reason you get introduced to the family quickly is because it's just that more shocking when you realize almost all of them are pretty much assassinated by the main villain of the story, who also happen to be one of the best friends of the father, so it is a blind side, which is hashtag more shocking.
You are the traitor, Roberto, and one of them. You may take our lives this day, but we will have yours in return, I swear! We will! Father!
After that, Ezio finds out his father was part of a creed of assassins, hence the title.
Wink, wink, wink,
Oh,
wink.
yeah!
After that, Ezio goes to live with his uncle and brings only the living family with them, which includes the mom and the sister. And if I have to make a complaint here, the mom and sister really are not utilized well at all. You could have made a really great story here. What I would have done is I would have just had more missions with the mom, right? Maybe go to the cemetery and grieve or some shit. Maybe have the sister become like an assassin and have her die in the process. And that's just like more motivation for Ezio. What happens is the mom doesn't get a single line of dialogue after that mission. And the sister becomes the bookkeeper for the villa. And she doesn't leave that seat the entire game. So yeah. Long story short, you're introduced to your uncle, who hilariously introduces himself like this.
It's a me, Mario!
Uncle Mario?
And I had a good laugh when this Leonardo guy introduced himself, because we already saw it's a me, Mario, and it's like, oh, who's this now? It's me, Leonardo. I'm like, are they really going to use every stereotypical like name for that region? And then I realized it's actually Leonardo da Vinci himself. And one of the smartest moves this game does story-wise is it keeps Leonardo as like one of the most consistent characters in Ezio's life. So you don't look at him as Leonardo da Vinci, the guy from history who did stuff. You look at him as Leonardo, Ezio's friend, and that's like the only way I looked at him. Long story short, you do meet other people, but they really don't stay for too long. You meet some, you know, good people. And the whole while being you're going through the game and exploring all the new cities and stuff like that, you're tracking down pretty much the man responsible for killing your family members. And what also comes to surface is the fact that Altair in Assassin's Creed 1 was after the Piece of Eden, whatever that is. Super artifact, super magic stuff, you get the usual gist. But he's after that as well. Towards the end, as you predict, you meet up with the guy who murdered your family members, and it's a crazy ending.
Greetings, Prophet. It is good you have come.
And it's completely nothing to do with any of the characters I've mentioned. Because you see, the main game is literally completely taking place in Ezio and Italy and all that, but in real life, because what's happening for real, just like the first game, is you're playing as Desmond, who's sitting under a scientific team in an animus, reliving past life memories. Now, the crazy thing about this is, of course, if you're living through a past life memory, you know, nobody knows about Desmond, right? Which makes the ending more insane, where Ezio tracks down the main villain, gets the piece of Eden, opens the crazy door, and it's like, I can't even describe it. What it boils down to is that Ezio, and this was crazy, like sad to see, Ezio, all he did there meant pretty much nothing to him. Like, he was a complete pawn that entire story, because he brought the piece of Eden in, which was technically like the key to unlock these gods. I'm going to call them gods. They said, we're not gods. We are just like, we were here before you. And the whole time she's staring at the camera. So at the player, literally playing the game. And she's like, I'm not talking to Ezio. I'm talking to you. She's like, I'm not talking to Ezio. I'm talking to you. Listen closely. And I was sitting in the chair like, what the fuck is this?
Our words are not meant for you.
What are you talking about? There's no one else here.
Enough. I do not wish to speak with you, but through you. You are the prophet. You've played your part. You anchor him, but please be silent, that we may commune. Listen.
And the nuclear bomb that goes off is when she name drops Desmond. And of course, Ezio's like, I don't know who Desmond is. Like, what are you talking about? But of course, Desmond, who sees this through the animus, is shocked as much as I was. So the whole story is absolute 10 out of 10. I cannot express that enough.
And both of us craved war. So busy were we with earthly concerns, we failed to notice the heavens. And by the time we did, the world burned until naught remained but ash. It should have ended then and there. But we built you in our own image. We built you to survive. And so we did. Done. The message is delivered. We are gone now from this world. All of us. We can do no more. The rest is up to you, Desmond.
What? Who is Desmond? I don't understand. Please, wait. I have so many...
But now that I've covered the story, which I feel like is mandatory for Assassin's Creed 2, let's talk about the actual gameplay here. What are we playing? Well, we're playing pretty much the same game, except a little bit better in every category I could think of. Parkour freestyle running is faster. And yes, you could make an argue that it's more unrealistic, because in the first game it was like Altair was climbing stuff, but at a reasonable rate. You know, reasonable being video game standards. In this game, I mean, Ezio scales towers in like 5 seconds. Like, it's no joke. And but for me, the power system, power rankings of what I like in a game, realistic is kind of near the bottom and fun is kind of near the top. They made it way easier to restart missions, where in the first game it was, oh, do this mission without getting caught. Oh no, you got caught. Which, I mean, you're not going to complete the game 100% stealth, so you're going to get caught sometimes. What do? You run away until you hide, and then you come all the way back and restart the mission. Now, in my review, I said, please, in future Assassin's Creed games, just give me an option to just automatically restart at the last checkpoint. Now, I can happily say that is exactly what happens in Assassin's Creed 2. Plus, there's new ways to blend in. You don't have to hide in the hay. You don't have to sit on the bench. You can hide within the crowd, which makes sense because "but to blade in the crowd" was one of the catchphrases of Assassin's Creed 1. Hiring people is pretty cool, although I think it replaces the classic save a civilian, but save a civilian got pretty repetitive. There's a new Notorious system, which I absolutely loved. You see, in the first game, running through the streets meant you die, because the guards, if they just see you, they'd be like, huh, let's get up! In this game, the guards only notice you if you're notorious, so it's basically a morale system. Doing bad stuff, killing guards, civilians, oh, looks like you're notorious, there's posters of you around the city, and you will get spotted way easier. But even if you do that, and you will get notorious from time to time because some missions literally require it, you can still get rid of that status by making yourself more silent within the crowd. You do this by mainly ripping posters off the wall. Combat I find interesting, and in fact I find it a little worse. I say worse, not that it's bad, because both of the game's combats are good. There's more tools in Assassin's Creed 2, but they took out the heavy attack button, which was like my favorite go-to. So I couldn't do that anymore. But I did have smoke bombs and an actual pistol, so that kind of made up for it. On the visual and auditory side of things, this game is yin and yang. We got some hella good stuff, and we got some absolute question marks on the other side. For the good, the music is absolutely what I wanted. The greatest example of music in gaming that I've ever seen, ever, by a long shot, is The Witcher 3. In this game, I have to say, in the nicest way possible, and remind yourself, this is one of my favorite games of all time, Assassin's Creed 2, it is a garbage version of The Witcher 3. That's mostly saying how good The Witcher 3 is. That's sort of what I was reminded of the whole time playing through this game. Running through the cities that is quite lively, you have stuff to do, a lot of side missions, there's music playing, and it's not like, oh, subtle music here and there. It's like the music is part of the city. It's part of the character that you're running through. You hear that soundtrack, you think of this city. Another thing that reminded me of The Witcher 3 is the dialogue, because The Witcher 3's dialogue is the best dialogue I've seen of all time in that game. Dialogue is so simple to get right and so simple to get wrong. Assassin's Creed 2 does it right. Every single conversation you have with characters in this game, I'm watching the screen.
Let's see who winds up rescuing who.
What do you mean?
It's not no-nonsense dialogue where people are just saying things, but it's really saying nothing. Like, you can't, like, what are you guys even talking about? The dialogue flows well. It's funny. Like, I legit laughed a few times in this game.
Very talented.
Immagino.
Self-expression is vital to understanding and enjoying life. You should find an outlet.
I have plenty of outlets.
I meant besides vaginas.
Mother.
Now listen, I'm not a historian, so I'm not going to come out here and be like, the looks of the cities are historically inaccurate or accurate compared to... All I'm going to say is that the cities' looks were pretty interesting. I think they were a little samey, and there was way too much water in Venice. Now, if that's really what Venice was like back then, I can't complain if they're going for 1-to-1 ratio, because that's literally what they had to do. Especially that one city, which name I've completely forgotten at this point, but it was so gloomy. But let's get to the other side of this yin-yang that I teased in the... What am I doing? That I teased in the intro of this presentation category. This game looks okay. It looks okay. The models of the characters, they look bad. I honestly, literally never talk about graphics. Yeah, if you've watched my channel for a while, if you know me, graphics mean dog shit. I've played games where the graphics are good and I don't like it. But I've played games that graphics are bad, and they're some of my favorite games of all time. So you know when I'm about to mention something about graphics that it has to be like either incredibly good, like it was in the new Resident Evil remakes, or incredibly bad. Because the character models look like they're from a GameCube game era. Take in mind, this is 2009. Okay, yes, that was quite a while ago, folks. 13 years ago from when this video was released. But the thing about that, that's the same year that Resident Evil 5 was released. Okay? And a year before that was Dead Space. And 2 years before this was BioShock. So I literally have no idea why the models in this game look so 2001. In fact, this was the GameCube remake in 2001 of Resident Evil.
That's for sure.
Hey, Wesker.
North of here.
Overall impact, character models aside, I love this game. This game is freaking awesome the whole way through. Never one mission did I ever find frustrating. Like, this game was streamlined, is what I would say. Absolutely streamlined. At times it felt like, oh, it sounds like it could get repetitive. Oh, is this another blank mission? Is that another assassination? No, the game always changes up by going to different cities. Even throwing in crazy missions like the memorable one that I think of right off the top of my head, the Golden Mask mission, which was pretty much capture the flag against another assassin. I pretty much have absolutely no complaints about this game, other than the character models taking out the heavy attack, and I honestly would have liked more dialogue when you kill people, because in Assassin's Creed 1 you got so much character out of that, and that's one of my favorite things in gaming that The Vampire also did, shout out to that game. But I feel like you kill people in this game and you really don't get to talk to them. Like Ezio's just like, Requiescat in pace, goodbye. Last but not least, I should mention this because it is quite a big thing in the game. There's a money system. What do you buy money with? Well, you can buy some things around the city that are quite plentiful. There's lots of weapon shops, clothes shops, which is pretty much dyes. You can change the color of your outfit, which is pretty sweet. There's a doctor to heal and buy medical supplies. But most notably, you will be purchasing and upgrading your village, your villa, which is basically not yours, it's Ezio's uncle's. What does that do? Not much. It just gives you more money, which is not really needed, but it is kind of cool to upgrade the city. So yeah, everything I've mentioned, from the streamlined gameplay, the 10 out of 10 story with a crazy freaking ending, the great dialogue, the music that is front and center, I honestly have to give this game a pretty dang high rating at 9.3 out of 10. So that's it. Assassin's Creed 2 is done. That was crazy. That was... You know what's sad to think? Is that the bar? Did I just hit the high bar of Assassin's Creed? I'm gonna go through like the next 9. I'm gonna be like, it wasn't as good as 2. Well, I have the next 2 with... I can't remember what's next. Brotherhood or Revelations, either of those. I have stuff. It's gonna be a while, guys. It's gonna be a while. I've got Resident Evil Village coming up next to finally cap off my Resident Evil playthrough. Gold edition, that's why I waited so long. Then I got Life is Strange True Colors. Wait, that's been waiting on my shelf for a while. Then I got Banjo-Tooie. Then I got Assassin's Creed, whatever the third one is. So, going to be a bit, but there's always content on this channel, so stay tuned for whatever the hell I'm putting up next. For now, I'm your host, Saber Planet Entertainment, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Peace out.
Just a scratch.
Let the doctor decide.
It's not necessary. Besides, I've no money for this doctor of yours.
Wasted it on women and wine, huh?
I'd hardly call it wasted. Lend me some florins then. Or have you done the same?
Search them. There's bound to be something in their pockets.
What is up? I know what you're thinking. You're only here for the bonus Easter egg soundtrack I put in at the end of every video. But did you also know I have a donation page under Buy Me a Coffee? Donate whatever you want to my channel and I'll put half that back to an environmental charity. So that's that. Enjoy the music. Peace out.